It's precisely 1:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Romesh Piris and read by Sabrina Zawahir. The headlines. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa states the abiding friendship and vibrant relations between Sri Lanka and Russia are time-tested and mutually rewarding. Sri Lanka and Russia marks 65 years of diplomatic ties. The President receives the second interim report of the PCOI. The Mahasangha of the Presidential Buddhist Advisory Council points out further discussions needed before registration of new places of worship. The Minister of Mass Media says media personnel and artists have a higher reach than politicians in building national unity. The Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry reports 1,282 new COVID-19 infections on Friday. Sri Lankan missions to promote batik, handloom and local apparels. And in world news, the US President Biden says US believes Putin has decided to invade Ukraine. And in sports news, the final of the National Super League limited over tournament gets underway at Pallekele International Cricket Stadium this afternoon. Now the local news in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa states he hopes to further consolidate and expand the existing solid partnership between Sri Lanka and Russia into new areas of cooperation. In a felicitation message addressed to the Russian President Vladimir Putin on the occasion of 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and Russia this year, President Rajapaksa said the abiding friendship and vibrant relations between Sri Lanka and Russia are time-tested and mutually rewarding. President Rajapaksa added, underpinned by shared values and mutual respect, relations between our two countries have continued to flourish over the years, promising further expansion into multiple spheres of shared interest. The second interim report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry for appraisal of findings of previous commissions and committees and the way forward was handed over to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa by Supreme Court Judge AHMD Nawaz at the Presidential Secretariat on Friday. President Rajapaksa appointed the Commission of Inquiry to investigate, inquire into and report or take necessary action on findings of preceding commissions or committees appointed to investigate human rights violations, serious violations of international humanitarian law and other offences on the 21st of January 2021. Supreme Court Judge Nawaz was appointed its chairman. The first report of the Commission was submitted to the President on the 21st of July last year. The second 107-page report, the Commission made a number of recommendations based on testimonies of 75 residents of the Jaffna and Kilinochchi districts who faced the conflict and had related experiences. It was recommended to immediately investigate the findings of the Paranagama Commission appointed in 2015 and to file a court case or provide compensation. The Mahasangha of the Presidential Buddhist Advisory Council pointed out that it is important to hold further discussions before reaching a definite conclusion regarding the registration of new places of worship. The Buddhist Advisory Council met at the Presidential Secretariat on Friday for the 13th time and expressed these views. There was a lengthy discussion on the construction and maintenance of new places of worship, the conduct of Sunday Dhamma schools regarding the Vihara and Devalagama Act, the surveying of lands owned by the Department of Archaeology in the north and east, and the amendment of the Archaeological Ordinance. It was discussed that the procedures to be followed in respect of each religion should be taken into consideration separately in the registration of new places of worship. Special attention was paid to allow the registration of Buddhist temples on the recommendations of the Mahanayaka Thera of the relevant sect and the Registrar of the Regional Sasana Rakshaka Bala Mandala. Minister of Mass Media Dalasalhe Peruma says media personnel and artists have a higher reach than politicians in building national unity. Speaking at a function in Jaffna, he called on all communities to work towards understanding and respecting each other. The minister said criticism, protests and differences in opinion were all healthy signs of a democracy. Minister Alap Peruma requested individuals to not let their difference of opinion in politics get in the way of friendships. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing local news. According to Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry, 1,282 new COVID-19 infections were reported so far on Friday. Accordingly, a total of 634,333 COVID-19 cases have been reported since the beginning of the pandemic, while 21,745 infected patients are currently under medical care at hospitals and homes. 596,639 patients have fully recovered and been discharged from hospitals. Sri Lanka Friday reported 23 deaths, raising the total of 15,949. Separately, so far a total of 16,829,089 people have received the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine and 14,052,854 have received the second dose. In addition, 6,301,292 have received the third booster dose. The Foreign Ministry and the State Ministry of Batik, Handloom and Local Apparel Products held a joint session on Friday at the Foreign Ministry to promote Sri Lankan batik, handloom and local apparel products through Sri Lankan missions worldwide. Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Piris, who chaired the event, reiterated the importance of economic diplomacy initiatives and emphasized that Sri Lankan indigenous products are the outcome of creativity of the people and their promotion abroad will directly uplift the economy at grassroots level. State Minister of Batik, Handloom and Local Apparel Products, Dayasiri Jayasekara requested Sri Lankan diplomats to vigorously promote Sri Lankan batik and handloom products in their respective countries of accreditation and presented samples to display at missions and events. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka says that no scheduled power cuts will take place today. However, the chairman of the PUCSL, Janaka Ratnayaka, stated that intermittent interruption can be expected between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. to stabilize the national grid. He added that the CEB is now receiving fuel stock for the day's electricity generation. Former Director of the Criminal Investigations Department, Shani Abessekara, has filed a fundamental rights petition in the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka requesting an interim injunction preventing his arrest or detention again by the CID. Former Director of the CID has sought an interim injunction restraining any attempt to arrest or detain him under a detention order in connection with a B report filed in the Kuliapitiya Magistrates Court on charges including failure to properly investigate Mohammad Qasim Mohammad Sahran Hashim, who led the Easter Sunday terror attacks on 21st April 2019. The Japanese embassy stated Sri Jawadanapura University has introduced a degree program in the Japanese language. The statement said it has been a focal point in the strategic goals of the faculty to meet the contemporary trends of the world of employment by providing the undergraduates with an opportunity to excel in foreign languages. The introduction of the new degree that enables the undergraduates to specialize in a language that bridges two nations together, opening new possibilities, is considered an important step to further strengthen the mutual understanding between the two countries. The Working Committee of the Samagi Jana Balavegaya has approved the conduct of a rally to mark the party's second anniversary at the Salgadu grounds in Anuradhapura. It was decided to hold the rally in the second week of March in a bid to meet the challenge of holding a rally in the same grounds that the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna conducted a rally recently. The meeting, chaired by leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa, yesterday was attended by MPs Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, This Sattanayaka, Harin Fernando, Dr. Harsha De Silva and several others. With that we conclude the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
The 65th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between the Russian Federation and Sri Lanka is celebrated today. Russia's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova in a media briefing said the two nations are bound by long-standing friendship. She further said the Russian-Sri Lankan political dialogue invariably rests on equality in the international arena, in the UN and other multilateral agencies and forums. Russia has always been an important trading partner of Sri Lanka and is one of the main importers of its main export product, Ceylon tea. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board imposed a 36-hour water cut in several areas of Colombo, commencing from 10 a.m. yesterday, lasting till 10 p.m. today. The NWSDB said the interruption was due to a breakdown in the main pipeline supplying water to Colombo. The NWSDB said the water supply will be interrupted in Colombo 1, 7, 9, 10 and 12, while the water supply will be under low pressure in Colombo 8 and 11. The NWSDB expressed its regret for the inconvenience caused and advised to use water sparingly. That came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
The headlines of the world news. The US President Biden says US believes Putin has decided to invade Ukraine. Ottawa police arrest protesters to end Canadian trucker blockade. The former officer sentenced to 2 years in Daunte Wright's death. Now the world news in detail. US President Joe Biden has said the United States believes Russian President Vladimir Putin has decided to invade Ukraine, warning that such an attack could happen in the coming days. Speaking from the White House on Friday afternoon, Biden said Russian troops currently have Ukraine surrounded and that Washington believed Moscow would target Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. Biden's comments come amid increasing tensions over Russia's troop deployment near its border with Ukraine, which for months has spurred warnings from Washington and its European allies against a possible Russian invasion. Ottawa police have arrested dozens of people and been towing vehicles that have blockaded the centre of the Canadian capital for 3 weeks as a large contingent of officers moved in to clear the area. Police have increased their presence in the downtown core during the past several days as they coordinated with law enforcement agencies at the provincial and federal levels to clear out participants in the so-called Freedom Convoy. Former suburban Minneapolis police officer Kim Potter has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for first-degree manslaughter in the killing of Daunte Wright, an unarmed black man at a fatal traffic stop in April 2021. Potter said she had intended to shoot him with a taser. Judge Regina Hsu said Potter must serve at least 16 months in prison and the rest of the sentence on supervised release and gave her credit for 58 days served since being found guilty in the killing in December. That ends World News. Prior to concluding the headlines of the World News once again, the US President Biden says US believes Putin has decided to invade Ukraine. Ottawa police arrest protesters to end Canadian trucker blockade. The former officer sentenced to 2 years in Daunte Wright's death. With that, we conclude the World News.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Allocations have been made by the National Budget Proposals 2022 to implement Broad Household Economic Development national programs. One of those programs is identified as the Sahanamala project. Under this program, 40 low-income families per each Grama Niladhari division will be selected to special criteria, and the recommendation of the relevant divisional secretary will be issued a digital card to the beneficiary family to buy goods to the value of 2,000 rupees, while opportunity will be given to purchase essential food and other commodities locally manufactured from home shops aimed at the women entrepreneurs. That was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928. Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
First is taking a look at cricket. The day-night final of the National Super League Limited Over tournament between Jaffna and Kandy will get underway at Palakkale International Cricket Stadium this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Meanwhile, the first Central Asian Beach Volleyball Tournament, organised by Sri Lanka Volleyball Federation under the supervision of the Asian Volleyball Federation and the Central Asian Volleyball Federation, will be held from February 18th to 20th at the Negombo Beach Park. The tournament will be held for both men's and women and will feature Iran, Uzbekistan, Maldives, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. The winners will receive the Independence Trophy and a cash award of $1,500. The first and second runners up will receive $1,000 and $500 respectively. Matches will be held from 8 a.m. to 12 noon and from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. That was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart, partnered with the Department of Pensions to enable the issuance of the life certificate to pension holders via biometric authentication. The life certificate is an important document that is used to verify a pensioner's living status. The machine will utilize the pensioner's fingerprint to issue the life certificate, making the process simple, efficient and easily accessible for all pensioners. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Colombo Stock Exchange will introduce a measure to facilitate local companies to raise funds in foreign currencies as the nation is facing a forex crisis. Due to the shortage of forex reserves, local importers are struggling to get adequate US dollars as they cannot open letter of credit with local banks. The CSE's new move, which was approved last week by the regulator Securities and Exchange Commission, will allow Sri Lankan companies seeking to fund foreign currency projects to raise capital in offshore currencies by listing at the exchange. That was Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
The Met Department forecasts showers or thunder showers to occur at times in the northern, north central, eastern and over provinces and in the Matale district. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts during the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places. That was the weather report. Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa states the abiding friendship and vibrant relations between Sri Lanka and Russia are time-tested and mutually rewarding. Sri Lanka and Russia marks 65 years of diplomatic ties. The President receives the second interim report of the PCOI. The Mahasangha of the Presidential Buddhist Advisory Council points out further discussions needed before registration of new places of worship. The Minister of Mass Media says media personnel and artists have a higher reach than politicians in building national unity. The Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry reports 1,282 new COVID-19 infections on Friday. Sri Lankan missions to promote batik, handloom and local apparels. With that we conclude this bulletin of news.